Sid Cutter brought the first hot air balloon to Albuquerque in 1971 and used it as a centerpiece for his mother's birthday party. On a dare, he took it out for a flight the next morning. So, how did that party decoration turn into the world's premier balloon event known as Balloon Fiesta? Let's turn to AIBF Heritage Committee member Dick Brown for the details.
Sid was flying his balloon in 71 and early 72, and we started to see it around, especially southern part of the city. And he was approached by KOB Radio, who was about to celebrate their 50th anniversary. And Sid he had never seen a balloon race before, but he put one together at Coronado Center. He actually invited 21 balloons. All of them didn't make it. There were some shipping problems in LA and also some bad weather in Chicago. But 13 balloons arrived and participated in what we now call the very first Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta. 13 balloons was actually about a third of the world's total population of balloons. So this was a big deal. And it was big for spectators. We had 20,000 spectators out there on the field. Field was a vacant lot where Macy's is now at the Coronado Center, that northwest corner, San Pedro and Manal. I took these pictures. This is when I got hooked on ballooning right here on April 8th, 1972. And there were 20,000 spectators, but only 2 mounted patrol. We just never thought it was going to be that big. So now we count it as our very first balloon fiesta. Sid teamed up with Tom Rutherford. Tom was working at KOB Radio. It's KKOB now, but KOB Radio. And we had a couple of celebrities out there on the field, Penny Marshall, Rob Reiner, also Slim Pickens just happened to be in town. And New Mexico at that time was celebrating its 60th anniversary of statehood. That picture there is a black and white, but it's Sid Cutter and Tom Rutherford. Well, that was a big success, so word got around that we could have the World Championship, the first World Hot Air Balloon Championships in Albuquerque. And we actually did that at the State Fairgrounds. 14 nations, 138 balloons, and Sid had his big Roadrunner Coyote balloon there at the time. This was the second balloon fiesta then, and then we had another one in 1974, also at the fairgrounds, 111 balloons. The problem with the fairgrounds was it really was too close to the airport and too close to Manzano and Sandia base, and that proved to be quite a problem. But here's what it looked like at the State Fairgrounds. You wonder, where are the spectators? Well, you can see Tingley Coliseum and the grandstands just a little bit south of Tingley, and that's where the spectators were. We did not allow them out on the field at that time. But this was 74, that picture was taken. Well, to keep interest in the second World Hot Air Balloon Championships in 1975, Quad A, our local balloon club, stepped up and we held a cloud bouncer rally. And this is in February, and it snowed, which is another good reason to change to October. Get away from those winter months. I had to put this in there. That's my balloon. It's called the Blue Dragon. And I actually landed on a taxiway at the airport. I wasn't alone. Several of us did. So we realized we can't be this close to the airport and have these big balloon rallies. But we did have a second World Championships, we not only moved our timing on the calendar, but we moved our place on the map, and we went to Sims Field, and that's shown in this picture. It's old alfalfa field. It's kind of close to where Jefferson and I-25 are, and that's the first time we allowed spectators on the field. We used Sims Field for the next 5 balloon fiestas. So this is the march north of our balloon fiesta launch sites. As I said, we started at Coronado, and you can see where Coronado is there on the map. We actually went the wrong direction and went south, closer to the airport at the State Fairgrounds. Then Sims Field, 75 to 80, and we had spectators on the field all through that time, and ever since, actually. In 81, 85, that period, we were at Cutter Field. You can see that on this picture here on the south part. And this is why I call it the march north of the launch sites. We keep getting further and further north. Then we went to our first Balloon Fiesta Park, which was 86 to 95, and then now we're presently real close right here. Tom Rutherford and Sid Cutter really couldn't keep the World Championships going and the Balloon Fiesta going on their own. So Mayor Harry Kinney stepped up, and he was really the spark that ignited the formation of a nonprofit, Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, Inc. And that's when we had a transition away from Tom and Sid and into a company like right here that could manage and produce the Balloon Fiesta every year. Right now the staff here is about 18, and that includes our executive director, Paul Smith. And there's a 24-member board of directors that guides the operation of the Balloon Fiesta. We've had all kinds of events here, and as you know, the Dawn Patrol is one of them, a very popular morning event. The first Dawn Patrol was in 1978, and 78 was also a first for a number of other things. The first key grab was in 78. Also, our 3 balloonists who flew across the Atlantic, Maxie Anderson, Ben Abruzzo, Larry Newman, also had a successful flight all the way across the Atlantic in Double Eagle 2 in 1978. And Sid won his first national championship in 1978 also. This is the Balloon Glow, another popular event that is the evening event. And we've had incredible balloon glows. But it really started back in '79 on Christmas Eve with 19 balloons at the Albuquerque Country Club. And the first time it was really here at the Fiesta was '87. And then now we have 5 nights of balloon glows, and 2 of them are special glodios, special shaped glodios. Special shapes. This is one of the most popular things, I think, in the Balloon Fiesta. We started having special shaped rodeos in '89 with 30 shapes, and they're almost up to 100, I think a little over 100 sometimes each year, and we get more and more special shapes, different ones every year. When we moved to Cutter Field in '81, we also were celebrating our 10th Balloon Fiesta, and that's when we had our first gas balloon race. And by the way, this site is now where Vista del Norte housing development is. By '81, we had 300 balloons, and this is also the year that Double Eagle 5 flew across the Pacific, our first trans-Pacific balloon flight. So you can see our number of balloons increasing over the years. In a little while, I'll show you that it came back down again because we're starting to run out of landing spots. But we do have pretty good running room now that we're farther north in the city. In '82, the Postal Service unveiled a 4-stamp set of ballooning stamps here at the Balloon Fiesta. And that was, they were actually, when they were issued in '83 in celebration of the 200th anniversary of the first manned balloon flight in 1783 in Paris. Gas ballooning. We've had gas balloons at the Fiesta in the '80s. We started having distance competition, and we've even had the Gordon Bennett race in 1993, and that was the first time we've had it in this country in 60 years. The winner of the Gordon Bennett race gets to host in their country the next race. So that's why we went so long without having Gordon Bennett in the USA. By '94, we had our 8th World Gas Balloon Championships here. And by '95, we started our first annual America's Challenge balloon race. So we've kind of got our own little Gordon Bennett associated with the Fiesta every year. In '86, we moved to the first Balloon Fiesta Park, which was a landfill south of Alameda, not far from where we are right here. It's where the RV park is now. By now we had 15 balloon fiestas and we're up to 485 balloons. And also in '85, Sid Cutter won his second national balloon championship. In '87, we had a balloon glow that was kind of special. It was celebrating the 75th anniversary of New Mexico statehood. And at that time we had 500 balloons. And it takes a lot of launch directors, so you'll see the number of balloons and the number of launch directors increase as we go along through the years. In '89, we had our first special shape rodeo. '91, this was the 20th Balloon Fiesta, 600 balloons, 37 launch directors, and it was the 20th anniversary of the Quad A, Albuquerque Aerostat Ascension Association, affectionately known as Quad A. '92, we had our very first Afterglow fireworks show, and in '94, the 8th World Gas Balloon Championships. Launch directors, we call them zebras. They're black and white stripes like referees. And as the Balloon Fiesta got bigger and bigger, we needed more zebras just to ensure that we had safe launches. As you know, the rookies are known as ZITs, which is zebras in training. And here you see a picture of in 2002 with 50 zebras, a whole herd, and now the herd is up to 60 and more. In '96, we celebrated our silver anniversary of the Balloon Fiesta. In fact, we had the original 13 pilots that flew in 1972 come back, and there you see them in that picture there. This is the year we also moved to the present Balloon Fiesta Park, and that was a former gravel pit. Now it's a beautiful grass field. By then we had 900 balloons, so it's getting bigger and bigger. And the first Dawn Patrol started in '96. And here is what you see now every year, Balloon Fiesta Park. You can see Main Street along on the right side and Corporate Village on the south side. And while we're close to Sandia Pueblo Reservation, we, I think, are in a better position than we were at the State Fair or even other launch sites further south. Competition has changed over the years. It's gotten very innovative, and the skill of pilots has increased. We started off with Roadrunner Coyote balloon races. The Roadrunner being the target balloon, and the Coyotes try to land as close to the Roadrunner as possible. But then we had tumbleweed drops, and they're not very aerodynamic, so that was quite a challenge. Ping pong balls into a hot tub, that's another challenge there. Kodak film boxes, baggies. Now we have rings on poles, and the prizes are tremendous now. 97, we had 24 nations and 850 balloons, so we're approaching 1,000. 98, 53 launch directors and 837 balloons. And 99, we had the second Gordon Bennett balloon race with 20 teams from 12 nations. A team is 2 pilots, pilot and co-pilot, for a gas balloon. In 2000, we actually exceeded 1,000 balloons. I don't know the exact count, but it's just a little over 1,000. I've heard 2019, but I heard 2013 too, so I didn't want to tell you. But 26 nations and 1,000 balloons. We also had 25 gas balloons. Now we later scaled that back to 750 and then to 550. Partly because Albuquerque's growing, we're losing landing sites, and it's just a little more manageable. So you can see the curve going down now, and we're capped at 550. The next 5 balloon fiestas at Balloon Fiesta Park almost didn't happen in 2001. Because of 9/11, all aviation, including general aviation, which includes balloons, we were grounded. Even our Albuquerque Aloft, which the first one was scheduled for that year, almost did not get off the ground, but it did. We did have a balloon fiesta in 2001, but we almost missed. The Gondola Club was created in 03, and we had America's Challenge and the Gordon Bennett race at the same time in 2005. And I don't know if you know this, but on March 5th, 2005, Governor Richardson signed a bill that made the hot air balloon the official aircraft of New Mexico. We have a state bear and a state bird, but now we also have a state aircraft, and it's naturally a hot air balloon. In 2008, we combined the America's Challenge with the Gordon Bennett race. This is the 4th time now we've had the Gordon Bennett in Albuquerque. And another important thing, in 2012, we switched from helium to hydrogen. Helium is a limited natural resource. We're almost running out, and it's getting very expensive. So we switched to hydrogen, which is really a better lifting gas than helium. And I don't think we'll ever go back to helium. It's just, we just don't have much left. But hydrogen we can make. The 40th Balloon Fiesta was dedicated to Sid Cutter. Sid died May 21st, 2011. And we reenacted at that time at Coronado Center the first Balloon Fiesta that we had. So that was actually just ahead of the 40th Balloon Fiesta, and it was at Coronado September 30th, 2011. I show a picture here of Sid Cutter and Tom McConnell. I say Admiral Sid Cutter because he's wearing a ball cap for the submarine USS New Mexico, which was commissioned in 2010. And Tom's also got a USS New Mexico ball cap. So Sid did not get to see the 40th, but we certainly remembered him on that special 40th anniversary. Coming up was the centennial for the state of New Mexico. And in 2011, in preparation for some of the events the following year, Scott Appleman put together a little tether ride. He's with Rainbow Riders in May 2011 at the Balloon Museum. And Governor Susana Martinez and Mayor Richard Berry went up on the tether. And that was really the launching of a series of centennial events. Something else you may not know, the Fédération Aéronautique Internationale, FAI, has a Montgolfier diplome, which it established in 1960, and it's the world's highest ballooning honor, highest award. There's 4 categories that it's awarded in, and that's hot air, rosier, which is a combination of hot air and gas balloons, and service to ballooning. And I've listed there 15 Montgolfiers. Some people have won 2. And I show a picture there of Troy Bradley, who has won 3, and that was with his long-distance trans-Pacific flight in 2015. Now, there's only been about 115 Montgolfiers awarded in the entire time that FAI has had that award. And so about 13% of the Montgolfiers are right here in Albuquerque. That's pretty remarkable. No other city in the world can say that. Okay, a couple special shapes that are really, really popular. Darth Vader came, and he was followed a couple years later by Master Yoda. And I really like that picture, and everybody's seen these two. They're both from Belgium, and they're here just about every year. I'm a navigator like you are, and we're all volunteers, and our mission is to make guest experiences as great as possible. In 2014, the word volunteers was changed to navigators, so we're all navigators. Also in 2014, we had the 25th anniversary of Special Shapes and the 10th anniversary of the Anderson Abruzzo Balloon Museum right next door. In 2015, we opened the Sid Cutter Pilot Pavilion, a very special building, and outside, you've seen it, the 11-foot, 1-ton bronze work of art of Sid Cutter in a slightly tilted basket getting ready to take off, and his 2 dogs inside, his chase dogs, Sombra and Coco. I really like this picture because it kind of shows 2 young ladies, maybe future aeronauts, one with a hand on Sid's shoulder. You know, who has the best time in the Balloon Fiesta? That may be the winner. It was actually Bob Ruppenthal, an early balloonist here in Albuquerque, who said, whoever has the most fun is the winner of the Balloon Fiesta. But really, it's the result of very stiff competition, and the person accumulating the most points is really the one that is declared the winner and actually gets there's a trophy stand with this little statue, the miniature of the Sid's basket and Sid. That usually sits on top until the Balloon Fiesta. Then the winner is awarded this special little statue. This picture shows Jewel Cutter, Sid's wife, along with Maury Petron. And what he gets is his nameplate put on that stand. He gets the copy, this miniature statue of the basket and Sid, plus a sizable check for winning the Balloon Fiesta. So that's pretty significant. I'm sure he had a lot of fun, but everybody's a winner when they have fun. In 2016, we had the first National Hot Air Balloon Championships for women, and that was in conjunction with our 40th anniversary and the 45th anniversary of our local balloon club, Quad A, which is the largest balloon club in the world, one of the oldest. 30 years of special shapes by 2018. Well, today we have about 1,200 navigators on 40 different teams. 1,000 gallons of propane we use at least during every balloon fiesta, and we drink over 100,000 gallons of coffee, which gives rise to 375 porta potties, which is never enough. 200 golf courts, nearly 1 million guest visits, and over 1 million views on Balloon Fiesta Live. So we've come a long way. I want to tell you a little bit more about the Balloon Fiesta's Heritage Committee. We were established by Dr. Tom McConnell in 1998, and our purpose is to preserve Balloon Fiesta history and traditions before we all forget it, and to educate the public. We do several things. We recognize individuals who have made significant contributions to the Balloon Fiesta. We do that with a Wall of Fame montage that is periodically printed in the program, the official program. We also have a Heritage Pin and a Heritage Award, which is awarded annually to a person that's made a lot of contributions over the years. The Heritage Committee consists of 15 members. It's chaired by John Davis, who's been around as long as I have with the Balloon Fiesta. Another thing that we have done is we've published a couple books. And this picture shows some co-authors of one book. I'll come back to it in a minute. But in this picture, you see Charlotte Kinney, who's the daughter of Harry Kinney. John Senna, who is a past president of Balloon Fiesta. Kim Vesley, who is the editor of our Balloon Fiesta program. Myself, and at the end of the table there is Tom McConnell. And this picture was taken at a book signing at Barnes & Noble over there by Cottonwood. Another big thing that we do is we produce the official program every year. Heritage Committee meets January through June, and in that period we put together the next Balloon Fiesta program, and then it goes to press and is available around the end of September. This is a big job. The editor is Kim Vesley, and she's been doing that since 2002. We all help her put this together. Some of us write articles, some of us make contribution, pictures, whatever. The balloon, this is something you really should look at. The official program is not just a balloon directory, it is chock full of history on the Balloon Fiesta and all kinds of safety tips and photography tips and all kinds of information. And what's really cool, I don't think you know this, Ken, but all 5,740 pages are online and available for interactive paging. The reason I mention that is you can right now go on the website, click on merchandise, go to programs, and call up any book you want and read the whole Fiesta program. So you're not missing anything. You probably haven't been around the Balloon Fiesta since the 70s or even the 80s, but you can go back there and look at it through this marvelous website that we have, thanks to Ken. Oh, Okay. Well, you did a great job. It's really cool. I mean, you can turn the pages. It's really neat. Another thing that we have done, this is the Heritage Committee again. We have co-authored, not the whole committee, but some members of the committee have co-authored a couple books. One is the 40th anniversary book. It was called The World Comes to Albuquerque, and it had a subtitle, The Dream Takes Flight. Sid Cutter got to see this book before he passed away. It was printed in China. We had some printed early and flown over, and Sid was able to sign some copies. Um, it won the Best of Show in the New Mexico Book Awards year 2011, and also 5 other awards. So we printed 5,000. Before the 2011 Balloon Fiesta was over, they were sold out. It's out of print now. We have regretted not going back to press and printing more because it was an award-winning book. Well, for the 45th anniversary, we did another book, and it's just called Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. It is available here in the gift shop and in bookstores near you. But this was published, by the way, the first book was published by Rio Grande Books right here in Albuquerque. The second one was published by Arcadia. For years and years, Arcadia was bugging the Balloon Fiesta. We want to do a book on ballooning. Will you guys do it? At the time, they were doing black and white history books. And we didn't want to see a book of black and white balloons. So we knew that they were going to change the color. And they're doing now color and black and white. But what they did is came out with a new series of color Arcadia books, and then we said, okay, we'll do it. So we put together another group of co-authors and produced this book, and it won the 2016 first place in sports and recreation category of the New Mexico Book Awards. So the first book was co-authored by Kim Vesley, Tom McConnell, Paul Retz, and myself. The second book was co-authored by 7 of us. It's like a book by committee, but we did 7 people. John Davis and Dick Rice are the other 2 that were not in that picture where I showed Charlotte Kinney all the way along the line to Tom McConnell. It looks like we're doing a book every 5 years, and in fact, we are working on the 50th anniversary book, and this is actually going to be 2 books. One will be a children's book, and it's just about complete. We're almost ready to go to press on that one. The second book will be a coffee table style book with spectacular pictures, far more pictures than text, and it will be a collector's souvenir item available for the 50th anniversary, 2021 and 2022. So we're working on that. So you can see the Heritage Committee is pretty busy. We do a lot of things, and we're meeting almost monthly on this 50th book, putting together, we got so many pictures to choose from, so that's going on. And that is my story, and I'm sticking to it. This is my closing slide. I just like these pictures of these young ladies who could be future balloon pilots or future navigators. And just let your dreams take flight. And now I'm available to answer questions if you have any. Why did we go to October? Well, October is kind of special in New Mexico. Usually we have a high pressure system sitting over the southwest, which gives us clear blue skies and calm winds. And we didn't have that in February or even April. Look at the spring winds that we have in April and May. And February was, somebody did a study way back and said, yeah, February is a good time. Let's do the Balloon Fiesta in February. Sid Cutter realized pretty quick that that was not a good choice. So we went to October mostly for the good weather. and it's just worked out very well. Well, we have world championships and we have national championships. And national championships were held when he won, they were in Indianola, Iowa. And it just happened to be a place central in the USA, and it was sponsored by the Balloon Federation of America, which is part of the National Aeronautics Association, the American association that is a member of FAI, the international. So the World Championships has similar competition like we have here during the Boone Fiesta. So that's, I think it moves around now to different places in the country, but it started in Indianola, Iowa, and happened to, the president of the BFA was Don Kirsten at the time, and he wanted it there in his home state. That's how we got started. There's a National Balloon Museum in Indianola because the Nationals were first held there.
Can you explain the Wiley and Coyote race?
There used to be a balloon race called the Hare and Hound, and it was started in Europe. England had it a long time. The hare balloon was the balloon that was being chased by the hounds. When Sid Cutter started ballooning in Albuquerque, he wanted to give it a Southwest flavor, and he got permission from Warner Brothers to call it the Roadrunner Coyote balloon race. So the hare is now the Roadrunner, and the hounds are the Coyotes. And Sid went further than that with Warner Brothers, and I think you've seen pictures of Wiley Coyote and the Roadrunner. It's especially appropriate because it's our state bird. So the Roadrunner Coyote race is kind of a New Mexico tradition now. I think it's probably called that in other places now too, but it's really ours. We claimed it.
Thank you, Dick.
Thank you very much.